Before we begin today's program, I'd like to recognize Don Kirkpatrick, a legend in our field. With 2011 marking the final year of regular speaking engagements, this ASTD International Conference and Exposition is the last opportunity for all of us to hear from Don. We interviewed Don about the origin of the 4 levels of evaluation and what he thinks is critical for the future of the field. Here's Don.
You know, that's about the most common question I'm asked. How did you come up with the 4 levels? And I tell you, it's a long story, but I was teaching at the Management Institute at the University of Wisconsin, and I had my master's degree from the School of Business. And I decided I want to get my PhD. And in doing that, I decided I'm going to do evaluating the program I was teaching in. Between then and that was in 1954, when I got my PhD, I had gone to the School of Education and evaluated the programs, basically 1 and 2, but I had said something. I said, the day of reckoning probably is going to come when top management's going to look for more than level 1 and level 2, which are reaction learning. So then between 54 and 59, I did some research on behavior and results. I went into companies. I found out, are you using what you learned? And if so, what can you show any evidence of productivity or quality or more sales or anything from it? So I did some research. And then in 1959, Bob Craig, the editor of the ASTD Journal, called me and said, Don, I understand you've done some research on evaluation. Would you write an article? And I said, Bob, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll write 4 articles. 1 on reaction, 1 on learning, 1 on behavior, and 1 on results. He said, we've never published this series before, and I said, it's a good time to start. So the value of that book is not just my 4 articles. The value of that book is the case studies we have from Toyota and from Caterpillar and from IBM and from a lot of other companies. And people have been able to look at those case studies and say, well, here's a reaction sheet I'm going to use, or here's how I'm going to measure learning, or here's what I can do to measure behavior, or here's what I can do to measure results. And that is one of the reasons why it's been so popular throughout the world, is because the case studies are not just my concepts and theories and principles and techniques. So I would suggest the real key to the future is to build this partnership with managers, get them on board. In one of our books, Implementing the 4 Levels, I've written a chapter on how to get managers on board. And that's what you need, and you need top management involved as a partnership in terms of it isn't just training that by itself, it's doing it. It's the things that they want you to accomplish, and then you know that ahead of time, and then you know what your objectives can be, and I think that's the trend in the future. And if you want to be successful in the training profession, let me suggest you take that advice about to get managers on board, and starting with them saying, if you want this program, what do you want us to accomplish? And what are your expectations? And what does success look like to you?
Don, on behalf of ASTD and everyone here today, thank you for your service to the association, your colleagues, and organizations worldwide. You have helped learning professionals everywhere understand the importance and the impact of measuring our work. Don, please stand so we can recognize you for your work.